Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, what are you doing? Ow! Stop! Why are you doing that?
Hot diggity dog, all my fellow future outlaws. Welcome to your in-ring rundown, and as always, I am that NAKK Double G. Here with WWE's latest pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, where the risk is worth the reward. Not at all like your daily trips to the actual bank, where it's a genuine risk to go and get your money. Oh wait, I forgot, you don't have any money. Yes, the most unique version of this match in WWE history has the superstars battling out at the top of Titan Towers, challenging each one to see who can be the first to climb the corporate ladder, and decide who is truly capable of joining WWE's highest echelon of greedy scumbag. The pre-show match of the night involves the returning Jeff Hardy versus the Swiss android Cesaro. Jeff Hardy is not very happy about this match. Jeff Hardy has a sad face. Jeff Hardy wins this match. Jeff Hardy still has a sad face. The main show begins with a fatal 4-way match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. A match where 8 men will risk it all, possibly for a coveted item, a reward of sorts. Seriously, man, they said it like 7 times in 10 minutes already. This fatal 4-way is brought to you by The New Day, The Lucha House Party, Mora and Mizison, and a new team called The Forgotten Sons. A team that apparently hasn't realized that you first have to be remembered in order to be forgotten.
I thought for a second Juventud Guerrera joined the Lucha House Party for a moment.
Hey, watch it. I'm pretty sure I already said that back at Elimination Chamber. I'm not really sure what Psychosis is doing here, but he seems to be getting into this pod. I was close. Wesley, no, not actually a minor character from an episode of Captain America, Blake, sneaks in a hot tag off the New Day and begins to show the dominance of this hot new team. Beating down on Grand Metalik Mon for the brunt of this match while his partner, who I don't know his name yet, manages to keep everyone at bay outside the ring. John Morrison, he is exceptionally skilled in the art of standing there.
Morrison misses wildly, and Dorado picking up the pace off.
Kofi does a double stomp on both members of the Sons of Forgetfulness, but gets extremely lazy midway and just sort of falls down on top of both of them like some glitching hitbox in a fighting game. Right after they land a tag team double stomp that somehow didn't end the match, John Morrison shows us all that he is exceptionally skilled in the art of just standing there.
Sends Lindsay in, beautiful handspring.
And there's the stunner!
Big E throws everyone to the outside and wants to jump in the lake himself, but gets sniped by the random third member of the Sons. And since this is a no DQ match that everyone's actually been following the rules for some reason, the ref decides he's not playing very nice and kicks him out for the rest of the match. Kicks him out for a whole 30 seconds before Big E catches the grand one and lands the big oh my god change your goddamn finisher ending on him and retains their title. Why even set up throwing him out for 60 seconds if he doesn't even influence the end of the match? Why? We head backstage where Lacey Evans reveals to the world that she's either a poorly made action figure or a super soldier created by the US Marines in the late 1940s.
You see, I was made in the United States. More specifically, by the United States Marine Corps.
Back in the ring, R-Truth surprises us all by rapping to the crowd. Unfortunately, he's grown used to no one rapping back at him, and he hasn't quite realized yet that there's no one there. He's quickly interrupted by the most violent pilgrim, MVP, who I'm pretty sure was done wrestling at this point already. But no, he's actually here to accost R-Truth for his silly actions. But before the Truth can set MVP free, an angry golem comes down the ramp looking to destroy anything in its path. He is offended that there is now 3 black men in the ring with actual personality, the third being the ref, of course, and is here to do something about it. That something being this spear that cuts R-Truth in half. It was actually a pretty damn good one, can't lie. Then picking up a quick victory here tonight. We're then treated to a promo of a bunch of superstars praising the efforts of essential workers as heroes here in America. You know, instead of addressing the real issue of a shitty broken system in America that forces people to get into this situation to begin with. Hero, sacrificial lamb, 2 unfortunately interchangeable terms nowadays.
See, that was 2 points right there.
Kayla Braxton is here doing what she does best, ambushing people backstage with absolutely no warning. This time the lovely Sasha and Bayley as they head to the ring for their match. They say a lot of stuff, but the basic gist of it is Bayley is mad, Sasha is sad. Tamina makes her way to the ring for her match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, entering the ring to a sea of 2 people booing loudly, which is coincidentally about 1 more person than she's used to when the crowds were still there. Bayley begins the match by ignoring social distancing and trying to get a piggyback ride from Tamina. This upsets her greatly as it's Mother's Day and she clearly forgot to give Mother Tamina a gift. She sets her down easily on the top of the turnbuckle so they can have a nice mother-daughter talk about responsibility. You know, Bayley does really have a nice booty, but she's just gotta do something about that hair.
Don't say that too loud, she'll start yelling at you.
Oh, really? Really? You're gonna tell me what to do? Alright, well in that case, you know, Bayley really does have a nice booty, but she's just gotta do something about the hair.
Nice move by Bayley.
Tamina goes for a super kick, but is caught in the flimsy spider's web known as Bayley's attempted ankle lock. Able to reach the ropes and free herself, she retaliates with her most devastating move yet, falling down on her. This surprisingly long match is nearing its end when Bayley attacks Tamina with a vicious water bottle spot. What she didn't know is that Tamina has the water absorbability, healing her by 25% and throwing the not-so-huggable one over the desk right away. In control and ready to take victory after a super kick and a Samoan drop, Sasha Banks appears in the middle of the ring and distracts her with her big, beautiful, sad anime eyes, distracting her just long enough so that Bayley can do the slowest crucifix roll-up pin that you've ever seen and retain her title.
But again, I think you can give the assist to Sasha Banks.
Gee, Cole, you think? It's not like Sasha just got involved at the end of the match when Bayley was about to lose or anything. You know what? She should have just lost for yelling at me. Not like I was afraid or anything.
You should have seen your face. Oh, you were so scared.
I was not. I have plenty of experience with women yelling at me. Seth, the new father, Seth the almighty father is seen on his throne, claiming that he's going to unburden Drew of his WWE Championship here tonight, all while somehow sounding both like Jesus Christ and an American politician at the same time. It's WWE Championship time and a battle of the Swamp Dragons known as Bray and Braun. The challenger comes out first, Captain Bray Luke Picard and Commander Red, waving to all his fans at home that are so happy to see him return after his long voyage. He is then joined by the reigning champion Braun Strowman, who starts the match with a punch that probably would make a normal man sip through a straw for about a year. Undaunted by Bray's mind games, the power of the monster is on full display, tossing his old mentor from post to post. Revving up his engine to full speed, he begins charging ahead when he is suddenly wheel jammed by Bray, causing him to almost take out Michael Cole in the process. We then get rare footage of a typical Miami resident that somehow snuck into the arena.
Strowman hit the table hard.
Cole, that's
Wyatt uses this hairy distraction to land what's probably the biggest tornado DDT I've ever seen in my life, upon the monster even laying him out in the middle of the ring. But instead of going for the 3 count, he decides to do his best impression of me anytime I just finished a couple dozen wings.
Come over Wyatt here, Corey, as he's taking over this match.
Wyatt big boots the big man to the outside to regain his composure when all of a sudden Chris Farley appears. This black sheep that hasn't been seen in years makes its way to the ring to present itself to a Bray that cannot believe what he sees. But soon after, Chris pulls off the mask because it was just too smelly to reveal that it was Braun Strowman all along, who takes advantage of the visually perplexed Bray Wyatt with a front power slam and picks up the victory here tonight in his match. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message by the WWE hacker. With the world title match now behind us, it's time to fight for the entire universe. The challenger being Seth Rollins in his new defined form, complete with a new theme song that genuinely sounds like generic background music in a temple in an MMO on the SNES. I dare say the only thing you may want to burn down is the man who created this theme with such little oomph. The Scottish psychopath begins the match by chopping down the Sethi tree repeatedly, giving him little room to execute his defined plan. But to the Holy One's credit, he does sneak in a series of knees and manages to slow the big man down with an STF and even the forbidden crossface. Heading to the outside, Seth spends the majority of the match guerrilla warfaring Drew from every angle he can think of. But when he makes the mistake of using his Cena D Super Tope more than 3 times in a 60-second range, it leaves him vulnerable and caught by Drew to a massive belly-to-belly over the announcer's desk. Hey there, Seth. I know this might be a bad time to ask again, but I was thinking about getting lip implants. What do you think?
The McIntyre pull that one off.
Alright then, I guess I'll just ask again later, but you did use that excuse last time.
Can he capture the W?
Who screamed no? And more importantly, why? Seth and Drew end up in the turnbuckle with one of them being stuck in the Tree of Woe, when that same one decides to give a big old fuck you to physics and German suplex Seth over to the other side of the ring. Instead of calling this hot action in the ring though, Samoa Joe accidentally slips up and reveals the name of the Joe Biden documentary he and his colleagues are planning on releasing this fall.
But predators will stalk.
Seth goes for another stomp but gets a lovely glass company kiss from the head of the Scotsman, who then no-sells into a super kick, who then no-sells into a claymore, who then no-sells into— oh wait, he's actually pinned. After the fight, Drew offers to shake his hand and thanks him for the good match, leaving Seth in a combination of the only 2 emotions that actually matter, anger and confusion. We head backstage where the beautiful ever-changing amorphous blob known as Charlie Caruso is interviewing R-Truth, who has this to say.
I'm gonna you, Tom Brady!
It's main event time with the most unique Money in the Bank ladder match ever, held at WWE headquarters, where each superstar gets their own super custom, not at all looking like a backyard wrestling intro on a YouTube video from 2006 where they all do it in front of each other. Except Asuka, who's apparently nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found until this cameraman just decides to lift his head in his arm about 3 feet up, revealing that she was ready to pounce on them as soon as the bell rang. They never do explain how she got up there, did they? Corbin throws a giant weight at Daniel Bryan, narrowly missing him and shattering the glass window behind him. Upon seeing this broken mess, he can't help but fall into a trance thinking about his own career path. Luckily, everyone else is there to drag him into the giant fight cloud as this match progresses. Progresses well when Otis has to punish AJ for not wiping down the equipment after using it, like crushing him under a large barbell.
Get it on! Right, there, let. That's local.
It's the one and only Eagle Double G.
Oh fuck, it's Donald Trump. Asuka uses debug mode to access the level skip, dancing in the elevator as the rest of the combatants struggle to reach their way to the top, meeting the males at the only level of the building that somehow has its own set of shitty ring ropes. Otis cheers as Daniel yes kicks the shit out of Corbin, who is somehow tied up in these ropes already. But DB gets upset because he's doing the yes chance possibly even better than he can, and lays down the big man with a series of kicks before heading towards the top. Back with the ladies, Nia is bringing Carmella into this random office to have a long talk about their work performance, saying she's not injuring nearly enough people when she has a match. Quickly joined by a Shayna that she refuses to sell for, and a Dana with a chair shot that lays the large woman lying on the ground. Then, because this is the WWE and we can't have at least one blonde woman who isn't a total idiot, Dana seizes victory by just grabbing the briefcase in the middle of the office, outsmarting everyone. Everyone except the lovely not at all unnecessarily put here just to make her employees feel lesser than her Stephanie McMahon, who quickly tells her what a dumbass she is and must actually grab the briefcase at the top of the building. Without warning though, we head back to AJ Styles, who is almost caught saying some naughty words on WWE programming.
Coming for you!
Did you see it?
For you!
No? Alright, one more time.
For you!
Does exist. Styles busts down doors until he finds the Undertaker's secret healing chamber that Vince built for him. But he's quickly ambushed by Aleister Black, who locks him inside and heads towards the top himself. Towards the top where everyone finally gathers in the cafeteria where our favorite sea mammal is enjoying a nice meal. But what everyone didn't anticipate is Otis's power level to skyrocket upon such seeing a delicious lay of dead animals upon sandwiches, instigating a food fight between everyone that leaves nothing but a path of destruction in its wake, as well as leaving Rey Mysterio on the path to becoming an actual sandwich. We're nearly at the top of the building when Otis decides to give John Laurinaitis a massive cream pie. Asuka finally appears near the top of the building, yelling at this janitor for not secretly being a stripper, before the rest of the gang finally actually meet up with her. Yes, all 6 of them. Lacey, Asuka, Nia, Carmella, Shayna, and yes, all 5 of them head towards the top. Back to the men's side of the brawl, AJ and DB are battling fiercely when they accidentally crash into Vince McMahon's office. He looks at them and does his best impression of a 14-year-old who is playing video games and does not want to be disturbed by his mother. It's final boss battle time at the top of Ganon's Tower, where Asuka, Nia, and Lacey were the first to make the journey, battling for at least long enough to make me wonder if anyone else is actually going to appear to challenge them. To which that dastardly Corbin is the only one brutal enough to meet Asuka at the top of the ladder and try to push her off with no hesitation whatsoever. But nope, Asuka beats the shit out of Corbin and just grabs a briefcase for herself, becoming the Women's Money in the Bank winner for 2020. Both surprising me because she won, and then not actually surprising me that she won because what can you really expect when you use level skip? But don't skip ahead just yet because the night is not over. The Men's Money in the Bank ladder match is still going on. A lot could still happen. Like for instance, Otis could break the bottom step by stepping on it, even though I've seen heavier people like the Big Show on multiple ladders before. Or like when Corbin's kill count goes up to 3 when he just casually throws Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black over the top of the roof with just apparently no consequences. Or when Elias randomly fucking appears and smashes Corbin in the back with his guitar, which somehow ultimately causes AJ to fumble the briefcase and it lands into Otis's hands. Just did that last month! Get some new jokes, motherfucker. Well, that's it for this week's episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Give this shit a thumbs up, and most importantly, be sure to share with a bro or a hoe who needs to laugh some out. Tune in next week where I cover AEW's Double or Nothing. Hopefully we won't have to see any more poor snakes get stepped on. And of course, a shout out to all my patrons. I promise to you, when this is all over, I will gather up all our enemies and throw them over the roof for you. This has been Man from Earth with all the girth, telling you to be a character you know your worth. I need a fucking haircut. Diggity dog, all my fellow future outlaws, as of course this is your in-ring done. What she didn't know is that Tamina has the water absorbability, healing her by 24... Are you fucking kidding me? I got the number wrong? Kayla Braxton is here doing what she do. Samoa Joe accidentally slips up and reveals the name of the Joe Bowden document. Joe Bowden. Kofi Dova. Able to reach the ropes. She's able to reach the ropes. Jesus Christ. Heading to the outside, Seth Suspense. The pre-show match of the night involves the returning Jeff Hart. I can't look at it. I can't. Like, it's too close.